I haven't seen those initials in a while. Let's pop this open. There we go. Wow, look at that. This thing's in great condition. Yeah, now you can see all the goo. Look at that. So gooey. I'm going to have to soak this for a while. Doodlebud. It's finally arrived. I've been watching this on my tracking app while I was away on holidays. It's finally here. It's not jewelry, but it does come in this little box. They included, I guess, from something else that bleeds through pretty good there. But most importantly, is what's inside is this little pen I found on eBay. You don't see this on a pen very often. If we can get some focus, CCCP. Haven't seen those initials in a while. Let's see what this pen is all about. Here it is. It's a little Soviet pen, the Soyuz fountain pen. I only have a couple things from Russia in the house, and now a fountain pen is one of them. I got this pen because I thought it would be an interesting find. Something from this former Soviet Union. You can see the little C. Let's get you zoomed in on there. The little C inside the triangle logo there. Let's get you close up. I envisioned this pen sitting on the desk of some Russian general, or perhaps a Sergei Volkov or something like that. And a young cadet runs in to get him to sign a document authorizing the use of nuclear warheads on a Soviet submarine. And this was the pen he used to sign. Or maybe this was just a popular pen in Russia used by everybody. But the fantasy is what I had in my mind. Look at this thing. If that doesn't say former Soviet Union, I don't know what does. So reasonable price, comes with a gold nib. The seller, I'll leave some information on the bottom, said that this was, near mint condition. And yes, it's phenomenal condition. For the only thing you see on here are my fingerprints. So it's in great condition. There's the number, 0441. Other than that, there's no real information on here except for the little logo there. It's got a pop cap. And I got to do some work on this pen. So we're going to do this together. Here we go, pop cap. Now, this really looks like, say, a Montblanc 22, I believe it is. Got the little ink window in there as well. Ebonite feed, all black pen. So, yeah, I thought this does it for me. It posts really nicely. Got the pen. Look good. I could see myself writing with this guy. So let's go through it, see what's inside, and see if we can get this puppy working. So it didn't specify if the pen was tested, and there's no writing sample, so I sort of assumed it's going to need a little work. That's okay. Screws off. Interesting that the screws here for putting the barrel on are partway up. Normally everything's right down here, so it's partway up inside the barrel. So that's a neat little feature. Then inside, it's got like this captive piston filler. Now, I tried this one out. It does turn, but it's really, really stiff and tight for this little piston filler. So I got to get in here and grease it. So I thought, okay, let's undo this. Oh, it's not coming undone. And then I looked, and some people said there could be some goo or shellac or sealant in there. I'll leave, again, a link in the description. There was another YouTuber who had one of these, and he goes, oh, no, they're left-handed threads. So look at that. So left-handed threads for the section there and the nib to come out. And so, yeah, now you can see all the goo. So this, look at that. So gooey. I have no idea. Is that shellac or something? It's just, we're going to have to clean this guy out, get it working. I didn't even want to ink it before I do that. You can see it's all in there. But it's in pretty good condition. When I saw the ring on here, let me zoom in a bit. I thought, oh, maybe there's a little bit of rust on it. But as, there we go, now we're focused. I thought that, oh, maybe that's a little bit of rust. But now as I see the goo, I go, oh, that's just some crud. So actually there's no rust on this pen anywhere. It seems like it's in phenomenal condition. So very happy with the overall condition of the pen. So I'm going to have to take this thing apart, do some cleaning to it. I'm going to get some of the goo out first. I'll walk you through what I'm going to do and then give it a bath, ultrasonic bath. And hopefully we just got to do some basic cleaning, fill it up, and give it a go, and we'll see how it's going to write. Let's just fully finish taking this pen apart. It's got this little ink window here. I don't know if those separate. No, those seem like they're together. Okay. Very reminiscent. I think it's the Montblanc 22 that I'm thinking of that looks like this. So yeah, we'll get that cleaned up as well. Obviously, that will have to be degooed. How this comes out, it's very simple. You just push it back out. There we go. Yeah, this thing is really sticky and gooey. Give me a second. There we go. Oh, okay, red color. Okay, yeah. Wow, even that nib. Yeah, it's got that little tang on it, just like the Mont Blanc do as well. And the collar, it's very similar. It's an interesting kind of goo we got going on. Yeah, I'll pop this all apart. I'm gonna have to soak this for a while. So I'm going to, what I'm first going to do here is you can just see the mess that's in there. Just going to start off with the most basic things. So some Q-tips, some warm soapy water, and then to get in there, if I have to do any scrubbing, this little guy stole from the wife's personal beauty drawer there, a eyebrow brush. So it's soft bristles. I can get in, give it a little scrub if a toothbrush isn't going to work as well. So going to see how that goes. But next step, it's just going to be putting this in some warm soapy water. Do what I can with the basic tools, and I'll be running it through an ultrasonic cleaner, and most likely even soaking this for probably a couple days, to be honest. So I've soaked the pen, ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner a couple times, just with warm water, a little bit of soap, nothing crazy, no other cleaning agents whatsoever. The pen now is fully disassembled. So you have the main body parts, the cap, the main body there, and the section unit. These are the parts of the nib and feed. We got this little kind of collar collector. Ebonite feed goes in, the gold nib. There's this little collar as well. I'm going to put this all together, so if you happen to get a pen like this, there isn't too much information. You can use this as a reference. These are some trim pieces. I thought this stuff was kind of stuck to it before. It was just stuck. It wasn't assembled. So yeah, they came loose once I cleaned it. And then we got the filling mechanism as well. The only thing I didn't take off the pen was the little piston here. It's on there fairly tight. Everything seems to be okay with it. I just didn't want to risk damaging it because I don't know how I would replace that. But I'm going to put a little grease on here, reassemble the pen, walk you through that, and let's ink it up, see how it goes. So let's just start off here with the nib and the feed. The feed, you can see it's an Ebonite feed. All right, it's got a keyway here that fits into that red collar. A nice groove there. It's it should hold some good ink. I'm thinking the flow is going to be okay. Nib just fits on top. Okay, we'll sort of align it, but just like a Mont Blanc nib and feed unit, you have this little tab to kind of tell you the position on the depth as well. So let's slide that in there. All right, it was a real tight pressure fit. There we go, that's keyed, that's flush, that went in pretty darn easy. There is this little ring here. Let me zoom in so I can show you. If you see on the side profile there, it just tapers in there at that one end a little bit. This end's flat, but you can see it's got a little shoulder there. So the flat side goes down here. That little shoulder is just to help this mate inside of the filling mechanism. So another reason to get yourself a TWSBI pen is the silicone grease that's included. That is just, I've used this so many times. So we're just gonna grease the screw here a bit, and then we'll put some on the piston, and we'll work this guy back together. All right. So this is all one unit like this. This slides into the main reservoir here. So slip it in like that. It's a little tricky, as you can see. It's kind of keyed, so it might take me a little fiddling here off camera to get this in there. There, okay, so you just got to line it up a little bit. Another reason this tool is handy, then you just push it in through there. All right. So yeah, it's much better fit. I'm going to put just a touch more grease in there still. That's still pretty tight. Let's put a dab on there just to smooth it out. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Much better. All right, so then we got a little knob here to fit onto the screw. That's much better. It was pretty crunchy when I took it out. It was binding quite a bit, but man, that's nice and smooth now. All right, and this just fits over top, screws down. That's pretty good. So next up are these little trim pieces. There are two metal rings here. One is thicker than the other. The thick one goes up top here. You got your little ink window. There's a little Kleenex still on there. And the thin one goes on the bottom. We're going to slip the whole unit back into the section here. So you got the pokey end on top. Line it up like so. You can see it's sort of keyed in there to fit this guy. So you got to fit it in there just right. Might take you a minute to get it together. Just line it up. It's tough to do this through the camera. Oh, we got it. Lucky. Okay, we'll press that in. There we go. That fits quite nice. I'm happy with that. So then it should just be screwing this back on. Actually, I'm going to put just a touch of grease on that too. Let's just put this back on. There we go. Pen body. Cap. We are looking good. Look at that ink window. All nice and clean now as well. That's a sharp looking little pen. All right, moment of truth. Let's ink it up. Ink I'm going to go for is my Diamine Midnight. I don't have any Russian inks, but we'll just go with this one. Let's see this filler in action. Oh, that feels much better now. Fills up. Let's just give it one more go. It's not the smoothest in the world, but it's not too bad. We're now ready for the maiden voyage. We're cleaned up. We're inked up. Let's see how this puppy writes. So this is a Soyuz vintage fountain pen from the good old USSR somewhere in the 1970s, and it's even got a 14 karat gold nib. I would definitely put this as a fine. As far as line variation, there's not much going on here. Push some pressure and it just gets marginally darker. That's about it. Let's try some loop-de-loos. All in all, not too bad. It's a little toothy, but I checked it under the loop and nothing's out of alignment. Just a little bit on the toothy side. Let's try reverse. That's actually probably one of the best pens I've ever used in reverse, almost as good as the right way around. Well, let's check the wetness here as well. I think I might open this up just to help it flow a little better. She's just a tad dry. But it's not too bad if you want something a little bit drier. Big question, of course, is how does it handle the mango chutney? Let's see. Man, pretty good. So I don't know any Russian for the video, but I did grow up in a part of British Columbia where there was a fairly large Russian population, and my coworker had this for a last name, and the first time I heard it, I had to do a bit of a double take. Sure, Stabidov. A few details about the pen. One is, well, how much does it weigh? What's 17.25 grams? What's in the cap? About 8 or so. Give you some quick dimensions. So fully capped, your angle's gonna be funny when I look, for how I look at it, but that's pulling in what? That's like 5.25 inches, pretty much on the money. Uncapped, about 4.75. And then if you post it, we got about 5.5 or so. This part of the section here is right in around 10 millimeters, maybe a bit more. The widest part I found is right around 11 millimeters. So just for some comparison and reference, in case you're wondering, here's the Soyuz pen. This is a Parker 51. Here is the Amazon Basics that I kind of beat up a little bit in the review. And then, of course, a Lamy 2000. So it's in the range of these other pen sizes, but it is a little bit smaller. It's the smallest of the group. Very close to the Parker 51, but just a little more narrow. a tad shorter and a little bit lighter. I've been using this pen now for about a week or so, and I gotta tell you, I'm very pleasantly surprised. My closing thoughts on the pen, I'll give you my likes and dislikes. One, I'm happy I got this pen. I really got this out of curiosity. I haven't seen much of anything like this out there. So I thought, why not give it a try? So yeah, I'm happy I got it. The looks and the history as well. I think it looks great, and the history that kind of goes together. You think about what life was like and people who used this pen back in the day. Your mind thinks a little bit about that. But being a pen, it writes great. It's got good balance. The pop cap works well. It posts nicely. Holds a fair amount of ink in their own custom converter piston dealie they got going on. It's got a gold nib. Nothing wrong with that, especially for a relatively pretty cheap price. As far as dislikes, the only thing, for my personal taste, it's a bit light. I would like it if it was a tad heavier. The top end cap, this little finial here, that's the only kind of fault I found on the whole pen. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera there, but it just overhangs a touch on one side. So it seems like this was glued on and it just got shifted this way just a tad. I could try to pop it off and put it back on, or maybe file it. I'll see. It's not enough to really bug me, but that's the only little mini nitpick. Is there a little burr here? It's overhanging a tad. And then also too, I could do this quite easy, but these little trim rings here, so they do have a burr on them. All right, so that they should have just done a better job with that a little bit too. But I could knock those off real quick with just a little sandpaper, doing some figure eights on there, and that would smooth stuff out a little bit. But all in all, great pen. Happy with the price. Thought I'd get this thing and see how it is, and I've been pleasantly surprised. Couple last close-ups of the pen just for reference so you can get a look at it. Really enjoy this pen quite a bit, and as always, give some comments if you are from the former USSR or know much about these pens. Leave some comments for all of us to read. That would be great. And as always, catch you next time.